Yo guys, welcome to my Marksman leveling guide for Season 2. This video is dedicated for the people that want to league start Heartseeker or just learn more about the Marksman class in general. For those people that know me, I play Marksman Rogue pretty much exclusively for the last 4 years. Also, maybe some people, also from the veterans, can learn a little bit from this video here. With the new Mastery respec, I know that probably a lot of people will level with something like Shadow Dagger Falconer to be a little bit more efficient than respec later and empowered. I am personally more a player that likes to play his endgame build as early as possible. I just like this fantasy of it. Also, if I want to play a marksman, a bow character, then I want to play with a bow constantly and not need to play with a dagger to play like an efficient build like Shadow Daggers. That's why, like I said, I will show you how to do like an efficient marksman leveling with this bleed puncture, bleed armor blaze setup. I will show you just how to also prepare for builds like Multishot, Shadow Hail of Arrows, Heartseeker. Very easy, very fast way, also a safe way to level this one up. Like I said, just a little feedback from my side how to play efficient and very easy without dying early on. So as you can see from the gameplay, you can either choose to play Puncture alone, because the bleed stacks that we get are very strong, currently level 21. You can play it like this. The Umbral Blade version I usually do for monsters that have more life, like this one. I have my stacks up, the guy immediately dies. Other than that, if also monsters are following me, I can just do like this, shoot back, it will die behind me. Or again, with big monsters, just drop the Umbral Blades. Very fast way. With Shift we have the movement speed buff next to us. You just fly through the maps. This is Chapter 3. This whole setup that I have, Puncture, Shift, Umbral Blades, you can do the whole story with it. It's super efficient, super easy to play. Also, by the time, very similar to Shadow Daggers. So what we do here, get the Bleeding Fury buff up, and we just stand here, buff up, stacks up again, a bit of bleed stacks, and the guy's dead. This tempo you pretty much have during the whole campaign, also early Monolith. Super easy to level, very strong. You don't need your Shadow Dagger setup. This has nothing to do with Shadow Daggers. It's just very efficient bleed stacks from Puncture mixed with the crazy damage multipliers here from Umbral Blades. Like I said, once you're shooting, the stacks are up 4 seconds, and in the meantime you can just like blast through with your spinning Umbral Blades. Go with the Explodey Blades because they also apply an additional stack. Very efficient way. In the meantime, you can have your smoke bomb up because the smoke bomb gives you haste. Haste gives you more movement speed. More movement speed means more damage. This is what you do for bossing. Other than that, Puncture, couple of armor blades, move on. Puncture, couple of armor blades, move on. It's the whole gameplay from level 16 until whenever you want to stop, pretty much with the campaign or Monolith. Of course, later Umbral Blades or basically the Shadow Dagger setup is or scales better, because at a certain point like bleed or dot falls off a little bit, like in the middle of normal Monolith. That's why Max Roll Tarek, like I said, also I can recommend him. I'm also a lot in contact with him talking about efficient ways to level. Go for it if you like this respec way. I just wanted to make it easier for you also to play with a bow and not use the respec cost or whatever. Just stick with the class theme with a bow. Very cool way. I can just show you real quick. Deathers, of course. Here, super simple. I didn't craft anything. I just picked it up, equipped it. That was pretty much it. Nothing fancy here. Movement speed, silver rings for speed, jade amulet for more attack speed for my throwing ability. Super simple. Also here, the nodes, 4 points only here, and the skill, as I said, Puncture, Umbral Blades, Shift. I just wanted to go quickly through here because main part I will do actually here in the planner. So this one I will also link in my description so that you can always look over it. Let's just go over the most important parts here in the gear planner. While leveling, salvaged bow is pretty good because of the increased damage over time. Make sure if you want to continue with your with your build, that you always like improve your bow with the max possible bow damage, because like in combination with the flat damage and the dot damage from bleed, you will do of course the most damage. Everything that is white here, it doesn't matter what affixes you have on it. You can put resistances, health, whatever. Choose whatever you want. You don't need it. The most important thing is speed. So something like a bow like this, you can also put bow attack speed on it. You want the speed from this quiver, and put bleed chance if you got it on it. If you don't have it, also don't worry. Like your skills are usually doing the job also with the passives together. Get movement speed, silver rings for movement speed. Again, belt, whatever. I prefer the Jade Amulet, as I said, for the throwing attack speed. If you're lucky while leveling, get level of Puncture, then of course you can get your bleed stacks up a lot quicker from these nodes here. Other than that, this one is a guaranteed drop in chapter 2, that you have like 13 elemental resistance here. And this one I just choose for a little bit of poison chance, because like I said, dot in the beginning scales pretty well. From this point, I didn't spec into it. Like I said, the shared planner that I have in the description has everything, also with the passive pre-progression. How I basically start with the passives here. So I put directly 8 points in the beginning from level 1 into Swift Assassin. Why? Attack speed, of course, makes it all quicker to apply bleed chance. Also a little bit of flat damage. 1 point here, 1 point here, 5 points here. Why 5 points here? Well, first of all, haste chance. Haste is good. 30% increased movement speed to get quicker through the story. Also, we get increased damage per movement speed. Now in combination with silver rings, both of them, movement speed on boots, the haste from smoke bomb, which is a default, so you don't have to specialize into it. You will all benefit from this one to get an important increased damage source from the beginning. After this, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, more damage from here, more damage from the decks here, and then we put 5 points in the bleed stacks. Those bleed stacks that you get from here and Puncture, it's so much damage already early on that you absolutely destroy everything in the entire early game. Once I'm here, as you can see, I'm 25 now. Normally you only need 20 to get to Marksman. The next step here, you saw me in the video, I had only 4 points, but if you continue through the whole story, then I put the 8 points into here. After this, 5 points into here, because I want the evade or the haste after evading. This also makes leveling quite a lot easier or quicker. After this, 2 points into concentration for a more damage source. I put all my 5 points into here. First of all, to get dodge. We already have enough damage, but it's also good in the beginning to have a little bit of defensive. Also the cooldown is better than also for your more damage supply here for concentration. After this, put all the points here for movement speed. And when you reach this point, you basically already unlock Heartseeker, because, as I said before, I want to play Heartseeker as early as possible. If I respec those points later, I can put the 5 points into Heartseeker and then it's unlocked. This is pretty much what all this video is about. My next video is going to be about Heartseeker leveling altogether, with also my League starter. This is the early setup that you do to blast through the story until you unlock all the skills. If you want to play something like Hail of Arrows, just put the 5 points into here to get the fist shred. This will also help you out with the damage from bleed. Then you have Hail of Arrows unlocked. So what I usually do is, like I said before, I play my endgame builds as early as possible. If I unlock Multishot, then I play Bleed Puncture into the Giant Slayer Multishot. It's the one, I'll show it in game real quick, where you try this one, you get the stacks up, shit ton of damage from Giant Slayer for Multishot because you have so many projectiles applying this, easily rush through the story. For Hail of Arrows, I have a full leveling guide, a full video for Hail of Arrows, how to rush through the story. It's one of the best builds while leveling because you can just one-shot everything. Marksman is super strong to get into him part, because there are so many skills, so many mechanics that you can abuse to just do a shit ton of damage. That's pretty much how all the passive work here, and how to respec it later. Like I said in the second video, I will show you the starting point with Heartseeker. Then, for the skills, what I usually do in the beginning, before you unlock Puncture, I try to get like a two-hand sword, two-hand spear, a weapon that has good range so that you can Also clear mobs with flurry, so the first that I spec is just flurry with a bit more attack speed. Like I said, this is just like the first 5 levels. Then I unspec it, go into Puncture, this is my starting weapon, and then I equip a bow. The bow also you can get in the first zone from one of the mobs, so keep it in your inventory, and then you can start right away with your Puncture. The bleed Puncture leveling looks like this, 2 points in here. Tarek likes to go here for more damage in the beginning. I'm more like a quality of life fan over damage. That's why I already put the point into Frenzy after it to get the 20% increased attack speed. Makes the whole leveling a lot smoother from a feeling here. And then I put all the points into here to get a shit ton of bleed stacks or bleed chance with all the stacks that you can apply here. 3 bleeding fury stacks by default. And after this, you put all the points into here to get even more bleeding stacks. This is pretty much like the basic setup. After this, what I like to do is put a second point into here so that the frenzy uptime for your Umbral Blades casting is also a bit higher, so more bleed stacks again here. And then what I do is I rush rapid strikes so that the whole casting is much smoother and to apply more bleed stacks again. At level 5, I think, you unlock your second skill. What I usually do in the beginning, of course, because we don't have Umbral Blades, I go into Shift, 2 points here to reduce the cooldown, 3 points to get all the movement speed. This one just makes you rush through early game. Once I reach level 16, I respec out of Shift again, because the speed again is already good with Evade, or in general with a Marksman, and spec into Umbral Blades. It's just a little trick that I do. You don't have to do this, you can keep Shift here and then spec into Umbral Blades once you have it unlocked at level 20. What I do here is 1 point, 1 point, 1 point for the spinning Umbral Blades. Then it's very important to put this one here, because otherwise your Umbral Blades are just like flying all over the place and will not target. This setup alone allows you to apply all the bleed stacks. What I like to do is to go with the explosive blades here. First of all, the gameplay is much smoother, because otherwise if you don't spec into it, you have this recall. So it's 1, 2, and then you recall the blades, which is a little bit like awkward to play. Also, with this extra hit from the explosion, you get more stacks. And then rest of the points go into here, not really because of the damage, but more because of the whole AoE that you will get, and therefore also the coverage from all the monsters are also in, of course. 2 points, 1 point, so that they can home. Not really that necessary, but this one helps you out just to clear better or single target, and of course also the mobs. Once I am at level 20 again, Shift, I do the setup, 3 points for the movement speed, get the cooldown down. Like this, invulnerability, that's pretty much all you need for the leveling. Like I said, the whole planner in my description will have the full tree. I'm just giving you like a quick coverage how I basically level the whole campaign Holy Monolith with those 3 skills alone. Next one would be Smoke Bomb, just to get the Silver Shroud stacks up. Pretty basic setup with duration, with the dust shrouds that you can get here. Most important part is pretty much the Silver Shroud part here, so that you can like during like a dangerous fight, press Smoke Bomb. Once you get hit, then it's pretty much a free dodge, just like a little safe skill that you can use. And then the 5th one, usually what I like to do is Shurikens. As I said, if you continue with this whole setup, but normally I already switched to the other builds like Multishot, Hail of Arrows, Heartseeker earlier, so that you don't really need the setup. But other than that, of course, you want to have the armor part here, so that the blades spin around you with the proc from here with the Shurikens. This is usually the basic setup, what I like to do here. And this whole setup from here onwards, you're reaching this point here, chapter 4, then you're here, and once you are in Oracle Boat or a little bit above like chapter 4, 5, you will reach the point where you unlock Heartseeker. This is going to be the new level 30, and 35 is going to be Hail of Arrows. And the next video will basically explain how to level, or how I will level with Heartseeker. Pretty basic setup, guys. Like I said, just a little help for the new players, also maybe for some veterans. Maybe you learn something about this. Maybe you can share also some experience. It's always cool to share experience, like what is more efficient on how to play. Other than that, from the skills here, of course, if it's like a little bit of dangerous situation, always put the decoy out. You don't need to specialize it. Smoke Bomb, as I said, for the haste buff. Very fast, efficient leveling for me over the years. You don't need shadow daggers. You can just simply stick with the bow theme and just enjoy your whole leveling path through the story, through Monolith. And yeah, I hope this will help. Like I said, build planner is in the description, and my next video is going to be how I start with Heartseeker. Thanks for watching, guys.